This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Just recently, while they were searching her cell, a letter was discovered, a 6-page letter written out to her mother, Lisa Darden. In the letter, Richins asking her mom to tell Richins' brother, Rodney, to repeat a narrative prosecutors say is a lie. I had a chance to go through the entire letter the other day on the air, and it is kind of disturbing and kind of delusional and kind of really, I don't know the word to put it other than dumb, the way that she writes about these things. A lot of misplaced LOLs, it seems, into such serious conversation. What's your thoughts on this letter? I also want to talk about how the letter was obtained as well, because I think that is certainly something that needs some attention as well.
Well, when you look at the letter, it was just not surprising to me. And I don't think it's going to be the first time we see actions like this. She's going to do everything in her power to try to explain or to try to get out of this, to convince witnesses, to say things that aren't true. This is her. Mm-hmm. And she, you mentioned delusion. She delusionally, I think, believes that she's somehow going to get out of this.
Yeah.
And she's not going to get out of it. But I think in her mind, she thinks somehow she's going to be able to, snowball everyone. But nobody is snowballed. The judge isn't snowballed. And I don't know how to explain it other than that. When you see people in these cases, it reminds me of Murdoch, right?
Yeah.
He just you're just throwing mud up against the wall and thinking you can, shine everyone. And it was so interesting, though, that she would try to really hurt her mom, hurt her brother by getting them caught up in all of this. Mm-hmm. She just has no shame.
Yeah.
There's no one that's above her mm-hmm. in her mind. Commit crimes for me.
It seems to be a big pattern with individuals like this, like a Murdoch, like a Kouri Richins, where they get away with these things for a very long period of time when there is not a microscope on them. They can just keep going, and those around them, their soft targets around them, just go along with it. They feel that they're safe to do this sort of thing, and they don't seem to realize when the water is finally boiling around them that they can't keep doing the same sort of actions, and it kind of feels like what she was doing. I'm amazed she thought that she could get this letter out of the prison without anybody actually seeing it. But let's talk about how it was obtained, because I think there are a couple questions there. It was obtained while she was out of her cell in medical treatment because she had been given the incorrect seizure medicine for the 6th time. Now, again, you can hate this woman as much as you want. The same with Alec Murdaugh and the due trial thing. There are certain rights people have as human beings, and if you have seizures, you should certainly be getting the correct medicine so you're not having seizures in your jail cell. But that's when they found it, when she was out. I know there's not a lot of rights to privacy in a jail cell, but that is when they searched it. Does that constitute any sort of rights being violated on her part, the way it was obtained? And also, what the hell's going on? How do we have this many screw-ups on an important seizure medication over the course of just a few months?
Well, to answer your first question, people incarcerated have absolutely no right to privacy.
Sure.
So their phone calls are monitored, they're recorded, their cells can be searched at any time for any reason, and there's absolutely nothing that, they have any right to privacy on. So that's number one. Number two, regarding the seizure medicine, I agree with you. I think no matter what, there is a human component. She's innocent until proven guilty, and the medical staff has, made errors. But I will say this, Tony, it happens all the time on the outside.
True.
People get misdiagnosed. They have medication that it doesn't work for them. I happen to know somebody very well that suffers from epilepsy and seizures. I think they've tried 5, 6 different medications, and then even those will work, and then they don't work, and then they have to go to different dosages of medications. So just having some knowledge of this from a personal standpoint, it happens on the outside, it happens on the inside. So I think it's very unfortunate, and she, should have proper medical care. But I don't think it's unusual per se, especially with epilepsy or seizures.
Yeah, and it's something where they wouldn't have had to have denied her the medication to search her cell whatsoever. So that it's not necessarily a motive there. It just shows irresponsibility and incompetence. You're exactly right. It happens on the outside. I saw it this week with a close family member who's battling cancer. They almost gave his platelets to the wrong person because the wrong person by the same name came up first, and they just were about to go until somebody said, "Hey, look at the last name." And oops, then they stopped. But it's scary.
It is scary.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.